Hi guys, welcome back to Monday Chit Chats. I am so excited to be filming. I don't know if it's because I'm posting my podcast on my second channel now, which is quite a bit smaller than my main channel, but I just feel like it's more fun, more close, more exciting to catch up with you guys. And I was so worried that I wouldn't have a lot to talk about just because this week flew by. I was like, what even happened? But as I started writing down topics, I realized that there was actually a lot of random crazy stuff that went on last week, so we do have a lot to talk about, so buckle up. Before I get into my topics though, I will just quickly mention that I'm gonna close off the survey for this summer meetup, and I'll announce the date of the summer meetup in my next podcast as well, so stay tuned. But basically, in order to pick a date for the summer meetup, I created a Google survey, which you can access on my website. It's like 2 questions. It's not a lot of work. But I just wanted to know the date where the most amount of people were in Paris. I know it's summer, people are traveling, people are in and out of the city. But if you are in Paris between the end of July and August, then definitely come. Please come to the meetup. I'm actually so excited. And you still have time to fill in the survey if you want to vote for the date that's best for you. And yeah, I'll announce everything next week, and I will leave the link to the sign up down below. So yeah, the first topic on my list is that I am very tired. I am extremely sleep deprived. I don't know if you guys can tell. I think the eye bags are bagging, and even my voice I think sounds a little bit tired. But basically we participated in, like Jean, Alex, David, and I all participated in a basketball tournament yesterday. And it was supposed to be a couple hours, a couple games, but it turned into this whole afternoon and evening affair, which I'll get into. But the tournament that we signed up for is called Les Olympiades, and it's a sporting event that the city of Paris is hosting in celebration of the upcoming Olympics. And basically they had a bunch of different sports that you could sign up for in every single category. And it was really exciting because you have a couple weekends of tournaments, and then you have one big tournament at the end, which we were really hoping to make it to, but I don't think you'll see me there, and I'll explain why. Basically, when we were signing up for the tournament, it was in bold. It was very clear that the teams had to respect Mixity, which means that the teams had to be comprised of both men and women. You had to have at least one woman on the court playing. And it's really good that they did that. I thought it was really good that they were creating that kind of rule, because just generally when it comes to athletic spaces, I think there was actually, one of my friends works for the sporting department of the city of Paris. Something like 93% of athletic spaces in Paris are occupied by men. So there is this initiative to make women feel more included and welcome in athletic spaces, which I think is really great. As a woman who is constantly in athletic spaces in Paris, like this 93% is very realistic, because more often than not, I am the only woman on the court playing basketball or doing whatever sporting activity. And I'm usually only comfortable going because I'm with my friends who are men, like David, Alex, and Jean. If they're going, I'll go, and I feel comfortable, because it is really hard. Like in anything in life, when you are a minority, you don't necessarily feel welcome. You feel, I don't know, it's just more complicated to integrate, and I think specifically of when I try and play pickup basketball, there's so many courts in Paris. It's very easy to find a game of pickup, but it's just 100% men on the court. And so you do feel kind of uneasy just walking up and be like, hi, can I play? So anyways, all that to say, I thought it was really great that they did have this mixity rule included in the sign up. And so we get to this tournament, and you know how many women were there? 1. Me. Okay? Me. And I was like kind of ticked, because if you're going to make a rule, enforce it. If you don't enforce the rule, no one is going to follow the rules. And it was just so annoying for so many reasons. I mean, number one is that from my experience, I played, as you guys know, I previously played on a male basketball team in Paris for 3 years. And so I have played a lot against men's teams. And I can tell you that there is a real difference between the size and muscular body percentage between men and women. Men are a lot more solid, they are stronger, and they are taller, which means that you get hurt more, okay? Because my body is nothing compared to the size of a 6'5", 250-pound man. You know, that's just how it goes, especially for basketball when a lot of players are really tall. And so it is hard to play against another man, especially because my position is post number 5. It's the tallest position on the team, because when I'm playing with women, I am the tallest person on the team. But when I'm playing against the tallest man on the team, like, it's not even comparable. You know, I couldn't even jump to meet their head, you know? So, yeah, I that was one reason why I was irritated. I'll get to the other reasons why. But I basically, when I got there, I went up to the table, like the sign-up table where there was the administration. I was like, I thought online when we were signing up, it was, you know, mandatory to have both men and women on the teams. Are there other women signed up? And they were like, yeah, it was a rule, but we cut it because no one respected the rule. And if we enforced the rule, there would be no other teams that could play. And I'm like, oh, great. That's awesome. Like, love the initiative. I don't know about the execution. And so they said to make up for the fact that there wasn't mixity. Sorry, I don't know what the English word is. In French, it's called mixité. But yeah, to make up for the fact that there weren't other women playing, they were like, oh, well, we'll give you a 1-point head start. And I was like, are you for real? Like, a 1-point head start? These men are 3 feet taller than me. You think 1 point, like... And so they were like, yeah, you're right. Okay, a 3-point head start. So I was like, okay, all good. Let's just play. And what these men did was just... I get it. Everyone wants to win. You're here to win. I totally... On one level, I get it. But basically, the man that I was guarding... like the one that I was defending on, they had the same routine. You know, he was on all the teams. They were seriously taller than me. Like, I'm talking 2 feet taller than me, not even including their arms. They had the same routine, you know, pass, really high lob pass to the tall guy. The tall guy turns and shoots. And there is legitimately nothing I can do to stop that other than like, nothing. There's really nothing that you can do without creating a foul. And so, yeah, it was just frustrating to see them take advantage of the fact that they didn't respect the rules of having a woman on their team, and they were so pressed to win that, yeah, that's how they were going to do it. But anyways, it was fun. Aside from the whole mixity problem, it was fun. It definitely was a lot more physical. There were moments where I just even stopped defending because the boys were so fierce. I don't know, so intense that I was going to break an arm if I tried to get in their way. And even other things too, like if you are familiar with basketball, there's something called like a pick and roll where one of the players will come up on the person who's dribbling the ball. You'll create a screen which blocks their defender. Like the defender hits you as they're trying to follow. Oh my God, me explaining technical stuff. Anyways, the thing is the person who creates the screen gets hit by the defender on the person who's dribbling. And when it's a woman, it's all good because we're pretty similar in body size. When it is a 6'5" man who runs into my screen, I am on the floor. Like, I am literally floored. So yeah. It was definitely intense. I scored, though, which was nice. I scored a couple times. But ultimately, we did lose. So we will not be making it to the final championship. And it wasn't just me that felt the level of intensity of these players who really did come to win. Both Jean and David got seriously... Okay, I don't want to say seriously, but they were injured to a point where David had to go to the hospital. Like, it was kind of crazy. Jean was the first one who got injured. He was... going for a rebound, or he was going to defend a guy who like dunked, and the knees of the guy who dunked swung and took Jean out, like took out his rib cage. And then David, when he was I don't know, 1v1 trying to make a layup or something, he ended up seriously injuring his back to the point where we spent hours. Like, the tournament was over. The tournament probably finished at 4 p.m. We were there until 8:30 waiting for the ambulance to come because David, like, couldn't walk. And so the ambulance arrives and they get him in a wheelchair. They wheel him up. And it was just like, it's such a awkward thing because at first when we called for the ambulance, they didn't want to come. They're like, oh, well, this young guy got injured in basketball and he's like not in serious pain. Like, it wasn't, comparatively, I'm sure it wasn't the most serious incident that they'd seen in the day. So initially they didn't want to come. But after hours, like, David legitimately could not walk. And we couldn't get out of the building. So the ambulance didn't end up coming. And then I ended up going with David to the hospital to help him with everything. And, so that was the adventure that I went on yesterday. Basketball and then hospital. And David is, doing better. He's home, The thing is, at the hospital, like, it's hard. There's not a lot of treatment they can do other than making sure that you don't have, like, a really serious spinal injury. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of physio for David in the upcoming future. And what this whole, all of these injuries, like, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, like, what these injuries were like without you guys being there, because just seeing someone fall on the ground and get injured and stuff, it's like, they're fine. Jean and David are both fine, but it was like a lot in the moment. And it really made me think of something that I think about all the time, which is kind of a regret I have, is that I don't consider myself, like, old. I don't even like using the term old because, age is just a number. I like to just enjoy life. You know what I mean? I don't really take age into consideration when it comes to, I don't know, having fun and doing activities and stuff. But one thing that I have seriously noticed is that the way that I am now in my late 20s, pretty much 30, versus how I was in my early 20s is just insanely different in so many ways. Number one, I'm the same as David and Alex. Like, it's so much easier to get injured. It's so much easier to have little pains after workout, like back pains or arm pain or thigh pain, just muscle pain in general. And not just that, but also energy levels and the need for sleep. It really made me think, especially of my energy levels, because I remember when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, I could get away with sleep, like 2 hours of sleep a night. I was all the time, go. I had 3 jobs for most of my 20s. I have these memories of, like, pulling all-nighters 3 or 4 in a row to study for exams or to write papers and to have zero impact. To wake up after 2 hours of sleep and be ready to go for the next day, happy and motivated. And it just made me think about something that I really regret, or I look back and I wish I had done differently, is that I wish I had used some of the time from my early 20s to do more for me. Because from 18 until my mid-20s, when I was in school, I was so focused on school. Like, I don't know if it's obvious on my channel, especially my main channel, but I am kind of an overachiever when it comes to academics. Like, I wouldn't say that I'm someone who's naturally very smart or intelligent, but I am someone who is very interested and curious in things. And so before I make a video, I will do so much research. I will read a lot. I'll watch a lot of videos. I'll read books. Like, I like to be very informed. So I've always loved school because it's fun for me to learn. And so basically, as I was doing my undergrad and then my master's, I just devoted so much of my time to school And in hindsight, I'm like, Arielle, was it necessary for you to work so hard on a paper or on an exam to get that 90? Like, was that essential? Is that helping you today? And I'm like, no, I just had no chill. And one thing that will always be a regret for me is that when I did my master's in the south of France, I like spent 2 or 3 years there, okay? It is a blur for me because I spent most of my time in the library studying. And it's not that I don't think education is useful. Like I said, I love learning. I really enjoyed the skills that I learned in university, like critical thinking, essay writing, presentation skills, and generally, with all my electives and stuff, I got to learn about so many so many new things, which I really appreciated. But it's just so time consuming, and I don't really see the point in that. It's time consuming and it's money consuming. Like, let's be real, I haven't even paid off my student debt yet, okay? Like, and if I look at any job I've had since university, none of them, like truly zero of them, are related to my degree. So while it was fun in ways to learn and to spend so much time in school, I do feel like I wish I had more chill at the time. I wish I had spent more of my time focusing on my interests, on my hobbies, and I don't know, friendships and other areas that I could have grown personally. I mean, like YouTube specifically, I love YouTube. This is really this is really something that I think works well for me because I like the creative side of it. I like the presentation side of it. I love it. But if you look back at my channel, when I was studying in France, I made maybe 1 or 2 videos because I was so focused on school. And I wish I had just, spent more time on me and spent more time discovering who I really was as a person and what I wanted to pursue in the future, as opposed to devoting 90% of my time to my studies. And the reason why I look back and I think of this as a regret and I really reflect on this is because the time that I put towards school or even work to pay for school is unimaginable. Like I was saying, I could get away with 2 hours of sleep when I was younger. So all of the other time in my day was pretty much spent on school or at work. And I wish I had used some of those years when I had all of that energy and all of that time, to grow myself and to use it for personal development, because now, today, I'm like, if I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I can't function. So yeah, it really did make me think of that. And if you are in your early 20s, then I would just really encourage you to use your time wisely. I'm not saying school is not a great use of time. I'm just saying that it is a use of time. Fill your time with other things that are also going to nurture you in other ways outside of academics. So that was my little spiel. Okay, my next topic I have in bold: breathing problems. If you guys have been following my channel, I don't know, for probably 2 years. No, this is like lore. This is Arielle and Paris lore. A lot of my Paris apartments have contributed to breathing problems that I've accumulated over the years, which just makes me very sensitive to atmospheric changes. My last apartment was like riddled with problems. I had mold problems, I had air circulation problems, and essentially I moved and that's how I ended up here with Jean, this apartment. But all of the problems collectively that I've had in apartments in Paris have kind of led me to be a lot more sensitive to changes in air. And so I went to Fte for a week. I enjoyed that beautiful, fresh ocean air. The day we got back to Paris, I felt like I was suffocating. Like the air just felt heavy. I was sneezing and coughing all day long. And now once I've been back in Paris for like a week, I am getting back used to it and stuff. But it was that first day, it was that initial shock of what am I breathing in? And there was another day too where Jean and I were biking somewhere, and it was just, it's so unpleasant sometimes to be out and about in Paris and just only smell car fumes. I wish that they made Paris more of a walkable city, because it's just like their traffic is so bad that cars will sit. The cars will just not move, and the whole city will be blocked up by cars, and you really do smell the fumes and stuff. So it got me thinking that I need to do something about this while I'm still living in Paris. And so I'm actually, after I film this, I'm going to run to the plant store and get some more plants for our apartment. I have a lot more shelves to add there. If you guys have also been following our apartment transformation, which we haven't picked up on in a while, we just like, the bedroom is kind of what we're currently working on, and it requires a lot of design. We want to paint things, and I think I'm nervous to start the painting because I'm like, oh, there's so many options. What if I don't like what we do? What if I don't like the color? So yeah, I'm nervous to get to the bedroom painting, but it is coming, and I have more shelves to add here where I'm gonna just cover the entire apartment with plants, because they're like, plants generally help purify the air in apartments, especially one of my favorite plants, the snake plant, which helps me because they do reduce, like there's been a couple studies, I think the most famous one was by NASA, that show that snake plants specifically really help to purify the air indoors and to get rid of allergens and toxins. And so I'm actually, I wanted to show you guys this. I'm propagating the one snake plant that I have. I don't know if you can see. It's been sitting in water for probably 4 weeks. But do you guys see the roots that it's growing? So yeah, I have 3 snake plant leaves that are propagating at the moment. So hopefully I'm going to turn these into more snake plants. But yeah, I'm going to go to the plant store after I film this. And if you guys stick around, I'll do a little plant haul at the end of this video to show you what I got. But it really, again, I do say this, I think I say this quite a lot, but I'm constantly conflicted because I really do enjoy city life. I enjoy the hustle and bustle, and I enjoy the activities. I enjoy how accessible everything is, especially for someone who does not have a driver's license and who enjoys walking. So there's a lot that I love about Paris. But I do find the lack of green spaces and the poor air quality challenging. And so in my dreams, I think about moving to Greece, moving to Italy, and I'm not going to move in the next couple years, but it's definitely on my mind. So much so that actually I was thinking of what I want to do in September. I have 3 goals in September. One is enroll in sewing classes. You guys know this. Number 2 is to do the Lingoda Sprint Challenge. I want to learn Italian. I've wanted to learn Italian for so long. I mentioned this in the last video, but my family immigrated to Canada from Italy. My nonna came and, with all of her children. And so, yeah, that's one thing that I regret, is that I don't speak Italian. And I very much believe that if you move to a country or a foreign place, it's essential to learn the language. And I don't think I would move to a country if I didn't already speak that language, or at least have a good base so that I can learn more once I arrived. So I am going to hopefully start Italian as well in September, so that when I do take the leap and move to Italy, I'm saying like that like it's already planned. It's not at all planned, but it's definitely a huge dream of mine to live in Italy. The two areas that I want to move to next. One is Italy, and number 2, I really want to live on a boat at some point. So I'm going to take sailing lessons in the future as well. But yeah, sewing, Italian lessons. And dance lessons. Dance lessons. That's the next class that I want to take in September. I recently started to learn more about rock and roll. In French, it's called enfin, le rock. And I have a lot of people in my life, like friends and also just acquaintances, that take rock lessons. And I always pictured rock dancing like, I don't know, whipping my hair back and forth. Like, I guess I think of metal concerts. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. But I recently discovered that rock dancing, at least whatever they offer in Paris, is kind of like swing dancing, where you spin and you... I'm going to put a picture, maybe a video on screen so you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe you already know, but I'm very interested in learning that type of dance. So I'm going to see if Jean, hopefully... We have talked about signing up for dance classes together, so I would like us to sign up for a rock class. And I don't know, it just looks so fun. So yeah, those are my 3 goals for September. I don't even know how I got on this tangent. Oh yeah, the air pollution, buying plants, and at some point moving out of Paris. Like, again, it's just such a conflicting thought for me because I really love city life, and I think that it's something that I would miss, or I do miss, because I have lived in the countryside. Like, I have lived in the countryside of France, where there's farms and it's very rural and you need a car to get everywhere. Like, I have done that for a year and I enjoyed it, but I also did miss the city. So it's challenging. I think that's such a tough one when you're thinking about where you want to live. It's hard to pick a spot that checks all of the boxes for you, which I think is why I move so often, because I'm always looking to check off a new box, if that makes sense. But yeah, tangent over. You guys, my next topic is literally showering for the first time, which sounds ridiculous, but if you got, oh my gosh, this was probably 10 podcasts ago or more than that. But if you guys remember, I was talking about integrating onto this new basketball team, this new women's basketball team that I am loving. Like, I cannot speak highly enough of these women and of the coach. It's been the best decision I think I've made athletically in a long time. But one thing that I was confronted with in moving to an all-women's basketball team is the culture of showering after a practice or a game in Canada, or at least in Toronto where I'm from, and even in Ottawa, because I've lived in both places. It was never part of the cultural norms to shower in the communal showers after a practice or game. Like, you always just put on your sweats, put on a sweater, went home and showered at home. That's always been what I've been used to. And so when I started playing on this French women's team, everybody on the team after practice goes to the change rooms and showers in the communal showers. And for months, I have been putting it off because it's just, I don't know why, it just feels so, it makes me anxious. It feels so different. And on top of that, I just find it more comfortable to come home and shower and stuff. So, but anyways, we had our team dinner at the end of our last practice, and we were going to dinner directly after basketball practice. And I was like, oh, I cannot be the only one to not shower before we go to dinner. So for like 2 weeks before, I was prepping myself to get in the communal showers, to do it, to finally jump. And I did it. It was easy. Honestly, there's literally nothing to say because it's literally just having a shower. But I was still proud of myself for... It literally sounds so strange to say. I'm so proud of myself for having a shower. But I don't know. It just is so not at all part of the athletic cultural norms where I'm from to have a communal shower after a sporting activity. And yeah, I'm proud of myself for doing it. And then the team dinner was really nice. It was kind of the first time that I had the opportunity to talk more casually and get to better know the girls on the team and stuff. And I also wanted to mention, because I do get this question quite a bit about making friends when you're abroad and stuff. And I always say join a team sport because it is one of those things that sort of forces you to see the same people multiple times a week. I am forced, in a sense, to see these girls at least twice a week. And so over time, you automatically build relationships. But basically, they were talking about how in the fall, they do a team weekend somewhere in France, like someone who has a larger family home will have the team stay in that home and we'll play basketball. And if it's in the south, we'll go to the beach. If it's in the mountains, we'll go for hikes and stuff. And yeah, they were talking about it and they set a date for it. And obviously they invited me because I'm on the team now. But I don't know, I'm so excited to go on this girls' weekend. And it just really made me want to keep saying that if you are trying to make friends in a new place, team sports are the way to go. I'm honestly so excited for this trip. But yeah, I think I had one more topic. Oh yeah, I had two more topics. Okay, so I don't know, maybe this is lesser known. I didn't really know it at all until I came to France, but in France, on the day of the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year, it's typically June 21. They have a celebration. They have a celebration called the Fte de Musique, and basically it's a day where you're supposed to just have music all over every city in France. It's a really big celebration, and it's a day that I've always looked forward to because it's so fun. Anywhere you go, normally, there are musicians, there's bands, there's DJs, and people are dancing in the streets and singing along, and I've always just had a really, really good time. It's like a highlight for me, which is important because typically on the summer solstice, what I've been used to is my mom will usually throw a summer solstice party, and that's always been the highlight of my summer. But when I came to France, I wanted to bring the tradition that my mom started of having a summer solstice party, but I never could because it was Fte de la Musique. So even though I couldn't do a summer solstice party, I was still having fun at the Fte de la Musique. And this year was the first year that I feel like things really changed, and I don't know why. Let me know your experience. If you guys are in Paris right now, let me know your experience with the Fte de la Musique and what you thought of it. But Jean and I went out pretty late in the evening, so maybe that was the problem. But the only type of music that we came across, and we actually went on bikes. Like, we biked through the whole city to sort of see what the ambiance was like. And there was almost no live music. We came across one band. Other than that, it was really intense EDM music, like the type of music. And I was so surprised because I don't know. I just feel like it was a very different ambiance and a very different vibe. And I think that when it is the more rave style electronic music, it's less welcoming to the general population. Like when it's a live band performing, or I don't know, someone singing or playing the guitar, I feel like most people will stop and listen and dance and sing. But when it is really intense electronic music, I think it's harder to enjoy for a larger amount of people. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of just my thought on it. And so, yeah, we really just saw EDM music. And what we also saw was just a lot of really drunk, really young people. And that's what I'm saying. The vibe was just kind of off because it's usually like everybody from children to grandparents who are on the streets, like, you know, singing and dancing and having a good time. And it really was like, we really only saw young and drunk people. Yeah, which was just different. Like, that's not really how I would spend my Fête de la Musique. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it was just different. And, oh yeah, I took a video actually to show you guys what I mean by this so you can have an image of what it was like. But it was just so different from last year. Last year I went to Montmartre for the Fête de la Musique, and there were DJs down some streets, there were bands. There was definitely a lot of people, but it was more of a cheerful atmosphere, I would say. And then the highlight of my night was there was a group of drag queens who were performing from the top of their apartment building in Montmartre. Like, they had the windows open and they were, dancing and performing and singing, and they just looked so beautiful, and it was just so fun. And they were playing like ABBA and just music that you could really easily sing and dance along to. Music that I think most people know. Like, if you throw on some ABBA, most people will know it. And yeah, it was so safe. It was, I don't know how to describe it. It was safe and fun. And this year I was looking at, because I was shocked, because I really felt like the ambiance had changed at the Fte de la Musique. And so I was looking on TikTok for other people's experiences, and everyone was kind of saying the same thing, that there weren't a lot of musicians. It was really just a lot of speakers. Like, it felt like people had just set up a speaker and were playing their music really loud, when typically it's like stores and bars and restaurants that will host musicians and stuff who will play. I don't really know where I was going on this tangent, but it was definitely a very different experience this year. And it was a little bit of a letdown. I don't know. I would be really curious if you guys felt the same change, or how you enjoyed spending your Fte de la Musique. Maybe it's just because we did go out a little bit later in the evening. Like, when I went to Montmartre, I probably spent my day from 8 p.m. until 2 a.m. at Montmartre last year. And we went out probably around 9 or 10 p.m. this year. So maybe that was it. But yeah, it was different. It was different. Maybe I'm kind of old school. That's why I feel like it's kind of dommage that there weren't any live musicians. But yeah, that was my Fte de la Musique. If any of that made sense, if you've never heard La Fte de la Musique, if you've never heard about La Fte de la Musique, then you might find this section a little bit confusing. But yeah, I will put the video, and hopefully it'll help you guys understand. And then my last topic really quick is about my weight loss journey. I saw a couple comments asking when I'll post an update, and I'm still making the weight loss video series. I will say that it is more and more challenging to make the videos, just because it's hard, I think, for 4 months in a row to film every single thing I eat. Like, I kind of, maybe there's a little bit of a disinterest in filming. I don't know how to describe it, but I guess I'm kind of over it. Like, I'm kind of over filming every single thing that I eat every day. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a lot. And not just that, but also I feel like it's really hard to stay as focused and on track as I was with summer. Like, you just systematically, I think in the summer with the nicer weather, you go out more, you go on vacation like I did to Fura. And so yeah, I feel like I've really slowed down in my weight loss. It's not that I've stopped losing weight, I've just kind of slowed down. And I've also stopped counting my calories. So I'm eating more intuitively now. And I'm like, I don't know if that's going to really be helpful to people in this series. So anyways, I am still going to post a video update. It's just, I've kind of combined, instead of doing every 3 weeks, the next update is going to be a combination of, I think, 5 weeks, just because the weight loss is slower, and I have a little bit less to say, I think, because I've stopped counting calories and I'm eating more intuitively. But yeah, I will post an update. But one thing that is kind of annoying, I mean, I'm very happy and I'm grateful to be healthier, happier, and having lost quite a lot of weight. But a lot of my clothes don't fit anymore. And Jean and I went out to a really nice restaurant a couple weeks ago, and I had nothing to wear to this restaurant because all of my really nice dresses, like, if you guys have watched my channel for a while, you would have seen that I have, over the past couple years, accumulated quite a few really beautiful secondhand Cézanne dresses, which are pricey to buy in store. I probably don't think I would ever buy a Cézanne dress full price in store. And so anyways, I've accumulated this collection of Cézanne dresses, but they all are the perfect size for my old body type. And now that I've lost about 25 pounds, the dresses fit me like bags. Like, they're very loose. And and it just was not appropriate to wear to a nice restaurant. So that was a struggle. And I'm like, what do I do with these dresses? Like, do I go to the tailor? Do I get them resized? Do I sell them on Vinted? Like, I don't know. It's definitely the most annoying part, I think, of weight loss. I mean, it's exciting as well because you can kind of reinvent your style. You can, you know, go shopping for new clothes and you can be creative that way, which I really like. But it is sad to no longer fit into some dresses and outfits that I really, really loved. And even like my bra size changed as well. I had to go buy new bras and stuff. It's just like accumulating the cost of losing weight. But yeah, it is going well. For anyone who is wanting an update, it's definitely still going well. I've just slowed down. I think it's funny because the first 10 pounds were the easiest to lose for me. And then this last 10 pounds is, more challenging and slower. And so I think I find it a little bit harder to make update videos that are as interesting, you know? But yeah, I think that's it. I really feel like I've been talking for so long. I hope you guys stuck around. And I won't say goodbye here because I am going to go to the plant store and I want to show you guys what I get. So see you in a couple hours. Okay, I just got home. As promised, plant haul. So we got 2 of these little plants. They look like nothing. They look very small, but I got this one a while ago and I really like how much it's grown. I don't know, I think it looks really cool. So we got 2 more, and this is just a basic planter, but this one is so cute with the little bathing suit. We also got this plant. Oh! I don't really know what it's called. Acuria Mount Everest, apparently. And this planter, which I thought was so fun. Little face. And this one I've wanted for a while, but I didn't know where to put it because it's a hanging plant. Let me show you what I want to put it in. We have this disco ball planter that we're going to hang from the ceiling in our bedroom. So I figured that'd be kind of cute. And then the last plant is the giant snake plant that I wanted. We're going to replant it in this teal pot. And I'm also going to cut off a couple leaves to propagate these longer ones. So yeah, that's my plant haul. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today's podcast, and I'll see you in the next one.